nothing but the dog in me. Why must I chase the cat?
Good evening, and welcome to Pound Posse Presents. Back tonight after a week off last week. It was a kind of a birthday weekend. Took a little road trip, visited with some friends, had a great time kind of day. Last weekend was the Huddy's Buddies Paw Jam up in upstate New York. And I went with my friend Sherry. It was like 2.5 hour ride, and bless her heart for driving both ways. It was definitely a long day, but it was, as I said, a good one. My friend Damon came down from Vermont. It was about the same distance for him to there to spend the day, and it was just a lot of fun. We have a couple of pictures. Let's start at the beginning there, Zach. Yep, just go down that row and I'll talk about them. There I am getting some love from Hudson himself. He looks great, bless his heart. Somebody pointed out to me or asked me on the Pound Posse Presents Facebook page, is he wearing a brace on his knee? And yes, on his other knee he is wearing a brace. He's got some hind end issues which were expected, unfortunately, because of, you know, the damage done to his body and the having to, you know, adjust his weight and his walking and his gait and whatever with the prosthetic. But oh, gotta love that boy. He's all kisses. It was a windy day, so it certainly wasn't a good hair day, but Hudson didn't care, and in that moment I certainly didn't either. Next picture. There is my friend Sherry. We were stand-in bodyguards for Jake and Juno, which was a lot of fun too. Serena and Robert could not make this event. They both had to work, and so we were kind of deputized, which, you know, poor us, right? Isn't that horrible? But I'll tell you, after his attack, Jake is just doing so well. You know, he looks great. He's still Jake. It's so amazing that he's made such a recovery, and I think that speaks a lot to not only his spirit, but the care that his mom, Deb, has given him throughout. You know, it was a little different walking him, knowing, you know, that something happened before, and being on guard, and just it's really different now. And I know that Deb feels the same way, and everybody, you know, who attends these events with her, extra hyper vigilant, and just kind of, I don't know, it makes it different. But bless Jake's heart, he is still just a wonderful little poop that he is. Next picture. There I am with my girl Juno. I love her so much. She's just the cutest little thing. And I have to tell you, you can kind of see the strap to my purse on my shoulder there. And at one point, I just wanted to shift it. You know, it's a crossbody bag, and I just wanted somebody to help me while I was holding her, lift it over my head so that, you know, I didn't like strangle her with the bag. And that's when my friend Damon stepped in and just grabbed the bag, put it on his shoulder, and he said, "I'll hold it for you for a while." And I was like, wow, that really takes a lot of nerve for a guy to do. And his response was pretty much that he didn't mind doing it and he would hold on to it, but if someone succeeded in getting it off his shoulder, he didn't know if he could bring himself to yell, "Come back here with my purse." Zach's in there laughing. "Come back here." I could just see it. You know, he's a big dude, truck driver. You know, "Come back here with my purse." That'd have been great. It wouldn't have been great because I don't really plan on losing my purse, but it was really a great moment because it still has me laughing a week later. So bless his heart for being so secure in his manhood that he would hold a girl's purse. What else we got here for pictures? Here's a group shot. We've got Dev and Juno and we've got Tanya and little Oliver. You saw them here from the Little Oliver Foundation a few weeks ago. In the back is Jen from Sweet Pea, because Sweet Pea and Juno's table were together. You've got Hudson's dad, Rich, in the back, and Sherry and yours truly up there in the front. And I believe that Jen is holding Jake in that picture. A little dark in the background, but you know, it's the best you can do with the sun and the tent and the shade and all that. But yep, that was our little group picture. And I think there's one more. And there you go, me and Ellen. Love that lady. She's just too cute and such a sweet person. I posted this on my Facebook page, and I said, you know, it doesn't have to be a good hair day to be a good friend day. So it was nice to get hugs and to visit. And, you know, Tula Lynn was the headlining act, and she was very gracious in just, you know, taking selfies with Juno and Jake, and meeting the people who were there that wanted to speak with her and, you know, hang out and have a word. It's really nice to see when someone's got a little bit of success that it doesn't go to their head. But yeah, that's me and Ellen. Gotta love her. She's so tiny. She's tiny, shorter than me and tiny, and she's just so cute. I love her. Anyway, I think that's it from that little segment. And I will take the camera back. I don't know what I hear in the control room, Zach. His phone's like going off and making all kinds of noise. But yeah, it was a really, really fun time. You know, any time that I can spend with Sherry or with Deb and Tanya and Jen, and see people like Ellen and Rich, it's really, I always say it, you know, it's so nice to be able to just hang out and be with the people that, you know are all for the same cause. And that's certainly what it was. And again, it was really nice for Damon to come down and hang out for the day. There was a really cool guy there at the event. And, you know, here's me, thought I was taking pictures, but can't see without the sun blinding me. Apparently I wasn't taking any of them. There was a guy who he's part rehabber, and he's part rescuer, and he's part just an aficionado of all kinds of reptiles. So he was walking around with a big snake around his neck. He had some smaller ones. He had tortoises, and he had this big lizard. It was actually really cool, and I wished I had pictures, and I'm sure if I had thought about it beforehand, I probably could have snagged some off of Facebook. But definitely someone who is very cool and very knowledgeable. Those aren't critters you see very often at events like this, and I'm kind of sorry that he's so far away, because he'd be great to have on the show. I threw it past him. Don't think we could have any of his critters on the show due to the guidelines here at the studio, but pictures and talking about it, you know, reptiles aren't something that is everybody's cup of tea. And, you know, when you get that chance to interact with them, it is kind of cool. You know, I was petting snakes and the lizard, and it was, you know, the little turtle, the tortoise guy that he had there. I mean, they're all such little individuals, and you don't think about them if you're not really into them. I think the biggest problem for me with any of those guys is that you have to feed them other critters, and that's a real problem for me. I just can't do it. But kudos to him, and again, very interesting, and it'd be really nice if I could actually get him to come on the show, because he'd be very informative. On to some kind of icky news. Ironically and tragically, a couple of weeks ago when I did the show, I wore my Cecil shirt because it was the anniversary of his death. And so I figured it was as good a time as any to wear it for the first time in a long time. And unfortunately, this week came through the news, and I admit I didn't have the heart to read the whole story because it's just too upsetting. Another trophy hunter killed his son. And, you know, I don't understand the whole mindset behind hunting. I don't understand certainly the trophy hunting, it's not a fair match. Most of these animals, I mean, I know Cecil was on protected territory. I don't know about his son. Like I said, I couldn't bring myself to read it. But how sad that, you know, so close to the anniversary of his father's death, I forget how old, I might be 6 years old, I don't know. But not an old lion, a young, healthy, strong, vital part of his environment, again, lost to a trophy hunter. And that stuff just needs to stop. And I wish that there was strong enough legislation, strong enough laws. You know, unfortunately, a lot of the places where these animals are, it's kind of lawless, and they have a lot of poachers and illegals. But, you know, the trophy hunters, I don't know how they get away with it. I really don't. I certainly hope that there's a stop to it someday, because we're losing too many animals that, you know, again, it's not a fair match. It's not something that I can wrap my mind around. But then again, I step on my dog and I'm not happy. So, you know, go figure. Alrighty, I do have some adoptables tonight. There's one I kind of goofed up on, but we'll get to him when we get to him. First up is Bo. Do you have Bo? Poor Bo. His owner passed away 2 months ago, a year after, well, his mom, and that's a year after his dad passed away. So this poor dog is basically literally orphaned. And for the last 2 months, he's been in the house alone. He gets visits twice a day. And, you know, for the love of God, that's so not enough. The time passes so slow, and it's endless for an animal. Used to being around, you know, their family, even if their people went to work, you know, that's 8 hours a day, give or take. And just to be alone day and night like that with only 2 visits in the day to look forward to, it's just heartbreaking. You know, imagine how he must feel. He doesn't know what happened and why his mom or even his dad at this point, you know, are coming back for him. So he needs a place to go as soon as possible. Right now they're saying he needs to be an only because he was never well socialized. You know, again, now, but maybe not forever, who knows? It depends on a lot of things. But he needs an only situation to go to right now. The sooner the better. They say he's sweet. He's an 8-year-old who loves cuddling and belly rubs. A trainer will be provided to help with the transition for Bo into a new home and to help get him acclimated. I think that, you know, if anybody can, they really should try to reach out and see if they can help. If you're interested, if you can help, please email adopt@roadtohomerescue.org. Once again, that's adopt@roadtohomerescue.org. Next up, Norwich Animal Control has an adorable threefer. Now, you can scroll through these next 3 pictures at will, Zach. There's Ava, who is a spayed 9-year-old Chihuahua mix, and Baby and Runt Runt, who are her offspring and about 3 years old. They're a very bonded trio and would very much like to stay together. They lost their home when their person had to go into a nursing home. Now, again, I've said this before, how awful for some of these animals, like Bo and these 3, who have something happen and there's nobody to step up and take them. It's our responsibility to provide for our animals in case something happens to us, you know. You don't expect to die, you don't expect to go into a nursing home, but, you know, while you are still healthy and able and willing, you really, really should try to make arrangements with somebody who you can trust and depend on in your absence, through death or going into a long-term care facility. It's a serious business. So anyway, Ava, Baby, and Runt Runt, if you can open your home to 3 little guys, that would be awesome. There is one picture of the 3 of them together. Did that come through? Oh, yeah, because you're spacing out on me in there. I'm gonna come and kill you, Zach. I cannot repeat what you just said. Anyway, that's just the most adorable little picture. And I mean, really, who wouldn't want these 3 little babies? I would do it, except that the inn is already full at my house. There are so many of these dogs, trust me, that I would scoop up in a heartbeat. But, you know, here's a ready-made little family. They're small, they don't eat much, won't take up much room. Yeah, if you believe that. If anybody's ever slept with little dogs, it's just as bad as big dogs, so who am I kidding? But really, they're adorable, and, you know, I'm sure that they're sad and confused too. So please, if you are interested, contact Norwich Animal Control at 860-887-5747. Once again, 860-887-5747. Next up, another little one, Tula. There wasn't much info about her, but look at that face. She's described as a happy, middle-aged female, and they say you won't be sorry with her. You know, I put up a lot of pit bulls on the show, and here's a gaggle of chihuahuas for you. Pit bulls and chihuahuas, the highest population in shelters, the most euthanized as well. And I hate to say that because it's not euthanization, it's killing. But yeah, they're the biggest population of those dogs who get killed in shelters, pit bulls and chihuahuas, because people get crazy and need to have them and then don't want them or don't take care of them or whatever. But that's another topic of conversation, and that does not necessarily apply here. Anyway, Tula is at Newtown Animal Control, and you can call 203-426-6900. Once again, that's 203-426-6900. And speaking of pit bulls, this guy's killing me, Groot. Look at him. He is at the Ansonia Animal Shelter. He's described as sweet and carefree. He's between 4 and 5 years old, give or take. He loves walks, but he could use some leash training. He's neutered. He is up to date on vaccinations. And, you know, can you just say, oh my God, is there 2 pictures there? There we go. Look at that happy little smile. I just want to scoop him up and love him. But then again, I want to do that with all the dogs. You can't trust me. So Groot is waiting for someone to scoop him up, and the last I knew, Ansonia was full, so it's kind of a serious situation. If you are interested, 203-410-7716. Once again, that's 203-410-7716. And that leads us to Stella. Look at Stella. Stella is at the East Haven Animal Shelter. She's about 7 years old. She is the perfect dog, good with other dogs and cats, described as an absolute love. So here you go. You know, a lot of these dogs are niche adoptions because they're not good with other dogs, or they're not good with cats, or they're not good with, you know, this, or they need that. This dog's perfect. Good with other dogs, good with cats, ready to go home. How much more perfect does it get? 203-468-3249. Once again, that's 203-468-3249. Now, I will take the camera back in my shame. There was one more dog who Zach informs me I neglected to download the picture of, because once in a while I get a little distracted at home. But this guy is a beautiful, chocolatey, brindle, handsome pit bull. And his name is Balor, B-A-L-O-R, if I'm saying that right. I don't know if it's a nod to something I don't know anything about. But he is absolutely stunning. He's a 1-year-old boy who has been at Bridgeport Animal Control since April. And that's a long time, especially in such a high volume shelter as Bridgeport. So you can look on their Facebook page, Bridgeport Animal Control, and see his picture. You can go to the Pound Posse Presents Facebook page and see his picture because I managed to remember to share it. But anyway, if you are interested in him or finding out anything about any of the other dogs in Bridgeport, you can call 203-576-7727. Once again, that's 203-576-7727. And I apologize for not having that picture. Sometimes, like I said, I just get a little distracted, something happens, a dog starts barking, somebody yells squirrel, and I lose all my train of thought. You know, it is what it is. Zach's laughing at me. It's a live show, folks. Things happen. So my many apologies to Balor, but he's beautiful, and I'm sure you wouldn't be disappointed. Anyway, one of the events coming up that I'm still really excited about, and we can get up the picture of Bikers Against Animal Cruelty, who I have to get on to come on the show and visit with me so we can talk about their event. It's the 10th annual Bikers Against Animal Cruelty Rally, which is going to be held on August 19th from 1 p.m. until 6 p.m. And this year they have a change of venue. It's going to be at the North Haven Fairgrounds, which is really exciting because, again, it's a whole different ball game. There's going to be a car and bike show, a kissing booth. There'll be food, live music, vendors, rescues and adoptables, raffles, and prizes. And it's going to be a really great day. As it stands now, this event will be the first one that I do table at. It's exciting. It's nerve-wracking. I've never done it before. For all the events that I've ever hung out at, maybe helped at a table for a little bit, or just hung out at a table for a little bit and helped by default, it's going to be a first, and hopefully I can rise to the occasion because I am kind of like real fussy about stuff, and hoping that, you know, I can get out there and do a good job of it. And it's probably not as much as I'm cracking it up to be, but it's going to be what it is, and I'm going to try. Zach has his instructions / orders to have the day off so he can be with me, and we hope to meet a lot of you there and come by and say hi, check us out, see what we've got on the table. I'm sure there'll be some interesting things for you to see, do, have, whatever. So there are my loves, Bikers Against Animal Cruelty. They are some of the finest people I know, and one of the organizations that I can tell you I implicitly have my faith in and can't wait to hang out with them because they are awesome. And as I said, I got to try to get them on the show again so we can talk about the inside track for this event. And I will take the camera back. And I just want to finish up the last few minutes. You know, I have some observations about some of these dogs that you see in shelters. You know, there's a lot of young dogs, a year, year and a half, even 2 years, some even younger. And I kind of see the picture for how they end up in shelters. People think it's a good idea to get puppies. They don't know what to do with them. They don't begin to know how to train them. They become a handful. They end up undisciplined, untrained. thrown in a crate for far too long because people can't deal with them. You know, it's always bad dog, bad dog. How about bad people? What if you actually realized what you were doing before you got a puppy and before you made that commitment and tried training, not yelling at, not hitting, not putting in a crate, not throwing outside? You'd have a mighty fine dog. Unfortunately, these people are giving up on them, and so you have, sitting in a shelter, a young dog full of energy, with no manners, with no socialization, and sometimes that's just a really hard dog to get adopted, because now you're leaving it to someone else to pick up where you failed. And that's the key word here, is people are failing animals at a rate higher than the rest of us can pick up after. The flip side of it is the senior dogs. There's more and more senior dogs in shelters than I think I've ever seen before. It's unbelievable how an animal can spend its entire life in a family, the only people it knows, the only people it loves. Whether it's a good home or not, the dog doesn't know any better because that's all it knows. And then all of a sudden one day, dog starts having accidents, dog can't play like it used to, dog has maybe, you know, some health issues. So they just surrender it to the shelter. I actually saw something this week that made me ill. A woman surrendered a senior dog, and the reason that she gave was because she was sick of her. Sick of her. Let me tell you something. There's a lot of times I'm sick of things. I'm sick of cleaning up messes in my house, but you know what? Those are my dogs, and that's what I took on. Period. And you know why I took them on? Because nobody else wanted them. Those are the dogs I have, and I love them, and I will love them until their last days, and that's just the way it is. Animals are a commitment, and if you can't do it, don't do it. And that's all she wrote. I'm going to say peace, love, and dogs. Until next week, thank you very much for watching, and good night.